I am so sick of Fritz McLoserville, and also Hitler McDumdum, and Mussolini McMeow Meow.
Hello, today we're going to talk about Joe Louis versus Max Schmeling. Big fights. America versus the Nazis. Let's do it. Joe Louis was a boxer from Alabama. He's upwardly coming and had a rockin' bod, and he's fighting this dude, Max Schmeling. Max Schmeling, he lived in Germany. He was a German during the time of the Nazis. Schmeling had won the heavyweight championship in 1930 because Jack Sharkey hit him in the nuts and got disqualified. So he basically won the heavyweight championship of the world by getting hit in the nuts. Joe Louis, his manager, was like, we're gonna take this ex-champion Schmeling, throw him in front of Louis. Louis will pummel him. Joe Louis was like, I don't need to train for this schmuck, you know? Instead of training, he was playing golf, and then he had all these women coming around and stuff. So he's and then playing golf and stuff instead of training for his fight. So the first fight was at Yankee Stadium. There's tens of thousands of people there, and everyone just assumes Joe Louis is gonna kick Max Schmeling's butt. Like, Hitler didn't even want it advertised in Germany. Hitler was like, this guy's gonna lose. We don't want anyone to know about the fight. It was like, Joe was like doing all right, and then Max Schmeling just starts coming at him. And he was like, boom, boom, boom. And then Schmeling knocks him down for the first time in his whole career. Joe Louis was like, oh, I shouldn't have been golfing. And he loses. So Louis feels like, I'm not the real champ till I beat Max Schmeling, you know, because he beat me before, so I'm gonna, now I want to beat him. And so they basically ended up deciding they were gonna fight again. And, you know, he was at the White House, and Roosevelt said, you know, we need these arms to beat the Nazis. Are you gonna win or whatever? And he's like, yeah, I can't do what I did before. I can't up and lose. I gotta get my in shape. No women, no golf. Joe Louis trains hard this time. He doesn't play golf, he doesn't chicks, he just trains. And the second fight was at Yankee Stadium. Hitler was suddenly Mr. Cool. Like, all right, we're gonna win, let's do this, tell everybody, let's party, let's watch the fight. Everybody, you can be out till 3 a.m. All the bars have to have booze so you can celebrate. And also, we will use the prize money to build tanks, because he thought he was gonna win. Joe Louis was prepared, and he's just like, 1, 2, 1, 2. And Hitler's like, uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Don't let anybody hear this. Pull the plug. They pulled it from German radio because they knew it was gonna happen. Like, never mind, don't worry about it. Go do your thing, no Jews. Thank you, bye.
I don't like this idea.
Just fight nicely. Delicate. 1, delicate.
Thank you.
Joe Louis is pummeling Schmeling. Left, right.
All right. Okay, all right, you win. Oh, no, you got me good. The greatest fight of all time.
And the ref said, it's over. And Joe Louis won. America won. People in America were like, even me, an ass racist American, can realize we're beating the Nazis. That's amazing. I love that guy. Hi.
You won.
I know. I'm trying to get up. Hold on. Thank you.
Oh!
Hello, today we're going to talk about Alphonse Capone, a hot doggy-lipped gangster. Al Capone went to Chicago. We got more guns and more guys, more money, and faster cars. So it's just like, ooh, I guess we'll just take over the city. It was like really that simple. Prohibition delivered this country to Al Capone, bound and gagged. Just the liquor was so lucrative, you know, and the money just kept piling up, and was, like became like literally like a billionaire. Guy was like 90 IQ. Pretty weird. He was the most powerful man. Everyone knew it. Press conference would say like, "Why aren't you made mayor, Al?" And he'd like laugh. "I'd rather just be in this position. Why would I be mayor?" You know. So many rules. Kind of bullshit. It was like they were looking for a way to take him down, and he never claimed that he had any income. Herbert Hoover stepped in and just said like, "Okay, we're finding him guilty, and here's the story." George nerd is in on it. His brother was busted for tax evasion. We could get Al Capone on tax evasion. Elliot Ness was treasury agent. Said like, "George, you're gonna f***ing testify." He didn't want to do it because he was like, "Yeah, f*** you. Al Capone's more powerful than the government. This comes down from upstairs." Okie dokie. It was like really that simple, you know? So, you know, you got this like hot doggy lip 90 IQ f***ing weirdo just like, how about we go to them and say, "All right, let's say I made this much money over this period of time and I'll pay this kind of taxes," and I'll plea bargain, and had it negotiated where he was gonna do 2 years in prison. And then the judge said like, "We're not gonna accept your plea, but we're gonna take part of your plea that said you earned this much money and bust you for taxes and sentence you to 11 years in prison." So I was like, whoa, what the f***? I thought we had a deal here. They put him away. That's when they started giving him like, you know, a medical test and psych test and stuff. And that's, you know, because really they knew nothing about him. He's got a 95 IQ. He's not that smart. He's just a big, weird mook. Oh, you got a 90 IQ, but you sure knew who to kill, and that's pretty smart. Oh, and he started peeing pus when he was 18 years old, and he didn't say anything about it. Syphilis. Syphilis. He just ignored pus coming out of his I mean, right? Gah, pus is coming out of my What is it? Nothing. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna stop thinking about it. Good idea. Hey, Al, how about one penicillin shot? Nope. Let's ignore it. And, you know, he's afraid of needles, and syphilis rots his brain. Soon after, he becomes a f***ing babbling idiot. Do you know he wanted his nickname to be Snorky? I want to be called Snorky. We're gonna call you Scarface. No, I want to be called Snorky. But when he got out of jail, he really quickly wandered away into like an idiot who would like put a fishing pole into his like pool in his backyard, like hoping to catch fish. I imagine they just made comments like, "Hey, why is he fishing in his own pool? He's a syphilitic moron." Syphilitic moron, what's that? It's a guy who's has a portion of his brain eaten away by his own pus. He's up. He's a moron. He's like a 5-year-old. Wow, because he had sex with whores and he got like a dirty dick and he didn't do anything about it. Pretty much the most powerful man in, you know, the country, like looking for fake fish in a pool with his bamboo rod. What an idiot. He had everything, right?
Hello, I'm Hillary Ann Matthews, and today we're gonna be talking about Hedy Lamarr.
Cheers.
Cheers!
Yay.
So, once upon a time, it was 1933 in the world. Hedy Lamarr is a Jewish Austrian actress. She makes this hot little flick by the name of Ecstasy. In this film, Hedy ends up having sexual intercourse and facially simulating orgasm.
Oh yeah, I'll have what she's having.
I'll have what she's having. She's married to this guy named Fritz Mandel, who is a patented fuckboy extraordinaire. Fritz is like, "I'm going to buy up every single copy that exists so nobody sees you naked." Because he's so jealous about the movie. Additionally, he sympathizes with the Nazis, not even just sympathizing with them. He is not even just sympathizing with them, he sells them weapons. Also, Fritz was forcing her to host these dinner parties. And she's like, "I am so sick of Fritz McLoserville, and also Hitler McDumdum, and Mussolini McMeow Meow." So she concocts a plan. She's like, "Hey, girl, what's up? up to her maid. She's like, sip this thing that I'm giving you. So she sips this thing, but guess what? It's a drug. And she's like, oh. And she's like, oops, did I do that? She was so ahead of her time.
She was the Hedy of her time.
She was a Hedy of her time. Hedy puts the maid's clothes on her. Then she sneaks on off in her maid's outfit to Hollywood, the land of dreams. She gets a contract with MGM. She is doing it. She's like, oh, I'm rubbing shoulders with Jimmy Stewart, and I'm rubbing shoulders with Clark Gable, and I'm rubbing shoulders with, excuse me, Howard Hughes? And he's like, yes, it's me, psychopathic genius Howard Hughes. You intrigue me because you are both beautiful, talented, and intelligent. She and Howard Hughes strike up a relationship. Then eventually he's like, I'm gonna give you a workshop. Boop. And she's like, thank you so much, because know that my hobby is tinkering with inventions. He really valued her intellect, and so he gave her a workshop instead of like a bunch of diamond and furs. Fucking Fritz, suck it. So Howard Hughes is like trying to design the fastest jet wing, and she is like, oh yeah, okay, well, you know what, I'm gonna go to the library and I'm gonna check out the fastest birds in a book and the fastest fish in a book, and I'm gonna combine them like a weird fucking biological scientist. So Hedy Lamarr essentially designs the first modern airplane wing. And he's like, wow, this is what I need from you, baby. How cool you are as a girlfriend. And she's like, yeah, wow, I guess I have inadvertently, through my love for you, contributed to the development of the world's most premier jet wing. You guys, the world is crazy. She got a book of the fast fish, and she got a book of the fastest birds, and she combined them. Okay. So World War II is happening, and Hedy and her friend, avant-garde composer George Untitled, create this thing that was based on a player piano. And so the two of them together create this system that was known as frequency hopping, which means that when the Americans try to locate a German U-boat and the German U-boats jam the radio signal, that the Americans could just hop on over to a different frequency and hop, 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 hop until we home the fuck in on German U-boats and then annihilate them. So they bring this to the Navy and they're like, we donate our patent of this mechanical invention to thee. And the Navy is like, wow, that was super formal of you and thank you so much. But also, it's just like too big to use. We'll like tuck it away in like a nook and like thank you again. It's like super nice of you, it's the thought that counts. So Hedy is like, all right, no problem. I worked really hard on this technological advancement that succeeded, but they didn't accept it, so that's okay. But guess what? Fast forward to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Have you heard of it? The Americans, us, are having the same type of problem with jammed radio signals. And they're like, wait a second. What? And they're like, what? And they're like, because it's so hard to blow off dust. They're like, somebody brought us a patented instrument to solve this, but now we can update it. We'll make it electronical, and we're gonna fucking rescue our radio signals. Thank you, Hedy. What's truly insane is that Hedy's invention is the basis for all wireless communication today. GPS, our phones that we're spending upwards of 8 hours a day on.
Bluetooth. I only talk to my mother on Bluetooth.
Hedy fucking Lamarr is responsible for that. History is crazy!
Hey, what's up? Today, we're gonna talk about Babe Didrikson Zaharias.
Okay, this is a woman. Her name is Babe Didrikson.
So Babe, when she was like 12, a kid like called her a tomboy or something and she like punched him in the face. And then the teacher was like, F it, like I'm gonna let you play with the other boys if you're gonna like start punching people. So she started playing everything, playing basketball, playing baseball. She was diving. She knew that she was like gifted. And so she actually said, I'm gonna be the greatest athlete of all time. Like she actually stated that, like, so there's that. So her dad is like into her being into sports. He was like, I will build you like this weightlifting machine so you can like get like big like a man. And so when she was old enough, she starts like lifting weights, practicing track and field. And she's like, I'm gonna be an Olympic athlete. So Babe gets into the Olympics.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
She gets into the Olympics. She kicks ass, gets a world record in javelin, wins in hurdles. She wins 2 golds and 1 silver, becomes like world famous. Babe Ruth's like, hang out with me. And she's like, okay. Amelia Earhart's like, hey, you wanna get in my plane and disappear? And she's like, no, but I'll take a picture with you. Babe has this like fame and she's achieved this status, but for women, like there's not much to do in professional sports. So Babe is a little bummed. She's like, why don't I get into some like vaudeville? They're like the amazing Amazon, that's what they called her, like Wonder Girl, the terrific tomboy. They would have her like ride up on a donkey on the stage and like shoot baskets and like flex. I don't really know what the show was, but I guess back then that was like a very exciting thing. But she was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I really just want to be outside and in the sports arena. I said the about being the greatest athlete. Like, what am I gonna do? What can I do? Bingo, golf, she says to herself.
Nobody was listening. Who was she talking to?
She's talking to herself. So she like picks up a golf club and starts hitting balls, and she's like, okay, I like this. She starts practicing 10 hours a day. Then Babe is like, there aren't any tournaments for professional women. What the f do I do? And then her dad is like, you're depressing me. I'm like, this is it. So then she has a great idea. I'm gonna get in a men's tournament. Her dad is like, that's a great idea. So she enters a dudes tournament. It's controversial. Reporters really like bagged on her. Like, it would be much better if her ilk stayed at home, prettied themselves up, and waited for the phone to ring. But Babe doesn't give a shit. She hit this like 250-yard drive. People are asking her like, Babe, like how do you hit 250 yards? And she's like, I just loosened my girdle and let her rip. At this point, Babe is married, but she meets this woman, Betty Dodd. Betty was like, you're my idol. I think you're the greatest athlete. Babe is like, I said that once. You're my lady. And so Betty becomes like her lesbian lover. And Betty was like, you're an awesome golfer. Like, you should definitely be playing. Just shut the f up. Like, listen to me, Babe. Babe's like, I didn't say anything. But why can't there be a professional league for women? And she's like, that's the best idea I've ever heard. So she decides to do it. She like goes and talks to all her ladies. She's like, the LPGA. L stands for ladies. It's pretty genius. Who's with me? And 13 ladies do it. And they start a professional league. She starts winning like crazy. She wins 14 tournaments in a row, which is like unheard of. She just wins. She's like, I'm Babe. Who's finishing second or whatever? I'm Babe. Suck my d. Things are going great. Women are into her, not sexually, but yes, but not. She's at the top of her game, and she finds out that she has cancer, which is awful. So she is like, I'm at the top of my game, like, whatever. You have to have some like serious game to do that.
She missed competition, right?
Yeah. But Babe was gonna come back. So she has the surgery. A year later, she comes back pretty strong and she goes back out on the golf course. Betty's by her side. She totally like blows everyone away. And she wins like US Open.
Going down! Yeah! Shot! Yay!
The whole press says that she was the best like athlete to, like the female athlete to ever like walk this earth.
And that's what you wanted.
That's what she wanted. the greatest in the universe.
That includes space.
That was awesome.
Great job.
All right.
Well, see you later.